Tuesday. Oh, look at the light. That's interesting. I like it. Anyway. So happy Tuesday. Today is the 11th day of January. This is the 7th episode of season 3 of the Be Your Own Hero show. HERO is an acronym. It means helping everyone reach optimism. In other words, helping others helps you. Helping others helps you. Helping others helps you. It's a reciprocal action. I'm your host. I am sekouwrites. I am a professional creative and the creator of what we are now calling the Hero Ministry Movement. And that is essentially my effort to uplift and inspire the unhoused community, although it has grown by leaps and bounds and is becoming bigger and bigger every day. And it's incorporating more and more things every day. Anyway, thanks for being here. Join me here Monday through Friday, 9:45 a.m. Eastern to catch me live. And you can also catch the replay on the New Thought Media Network Facebook page or YouTube page. You can also watch the replay on my Facebook page or YouTube page. And if this show provides any value, please like, please comment, please share. All those things help the algorithm, to help the show grow and help the network grow. And obviously, a shout out to New Thought Media Network for allowing me this space and this platform to be here and talk about my journey of becoming my own hero. Appreciate it. Okay, so all that said, let's get into a couple things. This is going to be kind of the first normal show this week, right? Yeah, I think it's going to be the guy. Oh, well, it's only Tuesday, but this will be more of a normal show. So let's get into the Hero Ministry Movement news, and we'll take it from there. So reminder, season 3, which we're in now, is about doing. The theme is doing. And really, as I think about that right now, this season has been about doing for me in terms of the stories I've told about the lost wallet and Mr. Charles. Those 2 stories in particular, but some other stories too. They've been about doing. They've been about action. They've been about being aware and being willing to lend a hand. Because a lot of the feedback I've gotten out there on social media about those 2 stories in particular has been congratulatory towards me in terms of choosing to help instead of choosing to ignore, instead of choosing to move on. And so I appreciate that. And now that I say that, I got to say one more thing. I realized this, or had this realization during Rev Mel's show yesterday, that as I have shown up for myself in terms of running every single day, I have been afforded opportunities to show up for other people. Those 2 recent stories are the biggest and best stories probably, but there have been other instances where I've just been able to show up for someone else because of my presence. So specifically for Mr. Charles and the lost wallet, if I hadn't gone out and run and shown up for myself, I would not have been there to see the lost wallet. I would not have been there to see Mr. Charles. So showing up for me meant being able to show up for others. I think that's an important thing to say. So show up for yourself. Show up for yourself. And that's a nice segue to the 30-day challenge. So the 30-day challenge is on. It's on, it's rolling. We've got more folks. We've got a Facebook page. This was actually a Facebook page that I had created during the pandemic to inspire people to do more. The title of the page is called The Doing Tribe. It's all about doing. And during the pandemic, we mostly posted about jump rope. Oh, wow, it's all coming back to me now. So during the pandemic, we couldn't move around. Well, early pandemic, we weren't moving around. The gyms were closed. And I discovered my mom's jump rope in this house. And I started jumping rope in the driveway as my workout. And that grew and grew and grew. And I got more jump ropes, and other people joined my jump rope challenge. It's awesome, getting a flood of memories. Other people joined my driveway workout, my jump rope challenge. And I ended up with about 45 people in this Facebook group called Doing Tribe. And mostly we were jumping rope, but also we were running and exercising and all those things, just trying to stay fit and stay in motion during those early days of the pandemic when the gyms were closed. So, full circle moment, I reopened that Facebook group yesterday, just last night, for the purpose of using it for the 30-day challenge. So those of you who are participating in the 30-day challenge that I already know about, I'll send you a link. If you're interested in participating, DM me, let me know some kind of way, and I'll send you the link because it's a private Facebook group, so you need the link. Okay, so all that said, that was fun to remember, by the way, just for me. All that said, I want to do a quick list. So a 30-day challenge list so far. Me, I'm on day 225 as of today of my run streak. Rev Mel is doing a streak of transcendental meditation. Andrea is doing a spin class streak. Cooter's wife, that's her handle on social media, is doing a run streak. Carolyn is doing a walking streak of 10 minutes a day. Gladys is doing her indoor bike every day. Lily is walking. And I'm adding my mom. She hasn't said that she's on the run streak, on the exercise streak, but she is. She's doing exercises every day. And she's doing 2 a days. She's doing 2 sets of exercises a day. So she's definitely on the list. So yeah, I'm adding her to the list. 2 a days. She's already doing it. So we're making that part of the 30-day challenge. Okay, so that's what I got so far. Obviously, I need some dudes. There's not one dude on that list except me. So fellas, come on, join in. It can be anything you want it to be. It could be drinking a glass of water every day for 30 days. But commit to something. Let me know that you're interested. Drop it in the chat. And yeah, let's make some things happen. Let's make some things shift for ourselves. Just a reminder, you want to choose something very, very small, a very, very small increment, because what you're really focused on is doing it every day for 30 days. So it's not about doing a lot of stuff. It's about doing a little thing, but doing it every day. So let me know. Okay. So all that said, as I said a few minutes ago, today was day 225. My run report is up. It's up on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok, so go check that out. And I'll just say that the lesson for me from my run report today was when you stay in it long enough, you give yourself more options. And that language came to me as I was doing the run report, so it came to me in real time. You give yourself more options, because when I got back, when I arrived back at my starting point, I was at 2.6 miles. And I thought, that's good enough. But then I also thought I could push to 3. I could round it up to 3. And I was able, physically able to round it up. It wasn't just that I had the thought, oh, I should round up to 3. I had that thought, and then I could physically do it. And then once I rounded it up to 3, I thought, let's round it up to 3.1. So it's a full 5K. And I was able to do that. I had the option of actually executing on the thought that I had. And I was able to do that because I've gotten so many days of running under my belt that I feel comfortable shifting. So that's the run. That's a snippet of the run report, but go check it out anyway on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok. Okay, so all that said, what else do we want to talk about? Oh, I haven't said hi to the heroes in the chat yet, so let's do that. Shout out to Nan. Shout out to Tim with the water and the coffee. I appreciate it. Did I do water? I did. I did do water today right after my run. I set myself up for success. I put a water bottle in the car. And so I ran, and when I got back to the house, I got in the car and drank the water before I came in the house. So there we go. I got my water today. Shout out to Gladys. Shout out to Tim. Shout out to Lovejoy. Okay. 30-day challenge, walk 15 minutes. Okay, good. I'm going to add you to the list. Shout out to Regina. I see you just sent me a text message, Regina. I'll check it in a few. Oh, but while you're here, so shout out to Regina for having me on her podcast. There it is. Let's Talk 1943. That's coming up soon on January 16th, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. I'll be talking about my podcast, Get Rich 101, which, by the way, as I've said a couple times now, but I'm going to say it again because I'm excited about it, is streaming. Let me put the sentence together. Get Rich 101 is streaming in 38 countries. 38 countries. I'm still blown away by that. Places I've never visited, I will now have to visit just to see these places where my podcast is streaming. That sounds cool to me. Anyway, shout out to Regina. Thanks for being here. Okay, so let's see. Next, I want to talk about just a quick update. A few people have been very interested in the Mr. Charles story. So yesterday, I stopped by the building where he lives and found out that he's still in the hospital, still mending. So prayers out to Mr. Charles. And also, I mentioned that one of his neighbors saw me in the paper and texted me to say that. And at the time, I wasn't sure that I was in the paper. I had heard that I was, but then my mom and I couldn't find it online. And then she said that she would keep some copies for me. So I went over yesterday to get the copies. And here's a paper. This is the Tennessee Tribune. It's a Black-owned paper here. The founder of this paper was actually a student of my grandmother's. My grandmother taught at Tennessee State University. So this was a student of my grandmother's. Okay, and look at this. Look at that. That's the cover, right? When you look at all this, this is a full page. Full page. All me. All Sekou running. This is about the fact that 3 of the nonprofits that I donated to from my charity run are located here in Nashville. So it's 7 nonprofits total. I keep sticking on that number, but I'm pretty sure 7 nonprofits total in 4 different cities total, but 3 of the nonprofits are here in Nashville, and all of the nonprofits work with the unhoused community. So this was my charity run. If you haven't heard about the charity run, it's your first time joining us. Essentially, I used a portion of my run streak, which is now day 225, to dedicate it to charity. So 187 days of my charity run, I used to raise money for these nonprofits. And I was able to raise a little over $5,000 for, well, it's kind of complicated, but in the end, it ended up being like $5,000 for 5 nonprofits, and 3 of those nonprofits are based here in Nashville. So that's what this article is about. So shout out to the Tennessee Tribune and Rosetta Perry Miller. I appreciate you. Thank you. Whole page. Oh, those photos, by the way, are from a 10K that I ran in Baltimore. They had a professional photographer, and that's me crossing the finish line. Okay, so very cool. And again, prayers up to the facility, to Mr. Charles, to Mr. Charles's neighbors, and we pray for a speedy recovery. Ashe and amen. I'll keep you posted. Okay, so Morning Zen. Today's Morning Zen comes to you from the 30-Day Mental Diet. Just a reminder, I am taking the 30-Day Mental Diet class as offered by Rev Melissa. This is probably my 5th time taking it. And it's always impactful, and always is something that you missed or you read a different way from the book. The book is called, obviously, the 30-Day Mental Diet. And today, Tuesday, is the last day to sign up for the class. So if you're interested and if you're intrigued, this is it. Today's the day. The next class is tonight at, is it 7 p.m. Eastern Time? I'm not sure, but oh wait, I have the flyer. So the last class is, to register is tonight. Yeah, here we go. January 11th, that's today. And you can register at rocklandcsl.org. And Rev Mel said, it says here it costs $55, but you can just make a donation of whatever you feel. Okay, so next class is tonight. After tonight, the class is closed. So if you're interested, get involved. Great class. So I'm going to read from the 30-Day Mental Diet from today's reading. And I'm doing a little bit extra. I'm going hard in the paint. So I'm doing the 30-day mental diet and the 7-day mental diet at the same time. So here's the quote that stood out to me today from the 30-day mental diet. The theme is you have great possibilities. Here we go. Infinite possibilities are available to you, but the stumbling block, I stumbled over the stumbling block. Let me do it again. Infinite possibilities are available to you, but the stumbling block is that they do not force themselves on you. Rather, you have to discover them for yourself and avail yourself of them. They do not force themselves on you. You got to go get the gifts. The gifts are available, but you got to go get them. That really resonated with me. So that's from the 30-day mental diet. And from the 7-day mental diet, listen to yourself. What words do you regularly use to describe your life? Which of those words produce stress and anxiety for you? Find alternatives. Find alternatives to the words that produce stress and anxiety for you. Those habitual thoughts, those thought patterns, those things that we just fall into subconsciously, those thoughts that just churn and churn and churn. Pay attention to what they are. Identify the words you use that cause anxiety for yourself and replace them with other words. It's good stuff. So that's the 1-2 punch, 30-day diet, 7-day diet. 30-day mental diet, 7-day mental diet. I recommend both books. Okay, so that is the morning Zen for today. And now let's talk a little bit about abundance. Abundance, because abundance incorporates money, but it's bigger than money. So we're going to do our affirmation. Haven't done it in a while, but here we go. I am so happy and grateful to be a multi-millionaire in every area of my life. I am so happy and grateful to be a multi-millionaire in every area of my life. Okay. And just a reminder, poor people spend, the middle class saves, but the wealthy invest. So find a way to invest if you want to be wealthy. I'm having a thought, but I'm going to save it. Let's keep moving. Okay, so let me just do a quick check on the comments. Oh, thanks for all the shout outs. I appreciate it. Yeah, huge article, right? Like literally, this is behind the scenes, but she handed me the papers and then I drove someplace else to look for the article. And I'm expecting a small little thing, and I get to that full page and I close it up. Like, I don't know why, but I closed it up. And so my mom was the first person to open it fully to see the whole article. I don't know. I just thought it was going to be a tiny little blur. I didn't realize it was going to be a whole page. Anyway, I appreciate the shout outs. Thank you. Okay, so we did our affirmation. We are affirming millionaire status in every area of our life because we're not just talking about money and finance. We're talking about abundance throughout every aspect of our lives. And I've done the reminder about the fact that investing is not optional. That has been hands down the biggest learning for me in this process, that investing is not optional, because at least for me, I've always considered it. It's always been positioned to me as something that was optional. And so my response to that was, I will invest when there's a lump sum, when there's a windfall, whatever it is down the line. And I've learned by doing this work that it is not optional. You must be investing right now. Not only to preserve the value of the money that you have vis-a-vis inflation, but also, as I think about it right now, think about all the things that are charging you interest, credit cards, etc. The things that are charging you interest, like the amount that you owe is steadily ticking up. It's ticking up. So you need your money to be ticking up to stay on par with those bills that are ticking up. Anything that's charging you interest, you got to make sure that your money is accumulating compounded interest on the other side so they can balance. And by the way, compounded interest is something we just talked about recently. And that was a new concept for me. Like I've heard the phrase many times, but the concept is very interesting. And so if any of you missed it, compounding interest and compounding fees are things we definitely need to pay attention to, because essentially they keep charging, well, for a compound fee, the fee grows as the capital grows, which is pretty terrifying. So even if it's a 1% fee, if it's a 1% compound fee, as your, I want to say balance, let's just say balance, as your balance grows, as your capital grows, the fee that gets charged grows with it. So it's 1% here, but as your balance goes up, the fee goes up. So I ran some examples before where the fee can start off very, very small and end up being 6 figures. So you got to be careful about compound fees. And also you want to get compound interest. And one of the best ways that I found to do that is by investing in the stock market, getting dividends, get a dividend paying stock and reinvest it via DRIP. DRIP is an acronym, it's dividend reinvestment plan. So basically you reinvest the dividends from the stock back into the dividend. It never comes to your account. You never see it. It just makes your stock that much bigger incrementally. Okay, so I'm not following my notes at all. So I'm gonna circle back and get to my notes. But that's what I was thinking about earlier when I said I was gonna circle back to it. The fees that we pay, you gotta keep your money on pace with those fees. Okay, so the theme has been dispelling the myth that you don't have enough money to invest. That's been a big one for me. That's why I kept saying to myself, I will invest later. Because I kept saying, I don't have enough money to invest. And I think we have dispelled that myth thoroughly, but just to circle back to some other things we've said. All right, so one thing you can do is create a new bucket, quote unquote, a bucket. So a new savings account, a new brokerage account, preferably both, but have another place to put money. And then make a commitment to paying yourself first. And you've heard that phrase before. I've heard it before. For me, it didn't stick until I really committed to doing it. If you take even just 10% off the top the day you get paid, then you will find that you have the room to put that money aside. But if you wait, if you pay your bills first, if you take care of everything that needs to get taken care of, and you're thinking, oh, I'll invest a piece of what's left, the psychology says that it's very unlikely to happen because you're going to have so much less. So if you just take the money off the top and put it aside in one of those buckets where you can't see it, where it's no longer in your checking account, then you got a much better shot. And I can attest to this. And as I keep doing it, it gets easier and easier to just move the money automatically. Just move the money automatically. And I'm freeing myself of that constricted space of feeling like, oh, I don't have enough. Yeah, if you do it automatically, you'll have enough. Like if you get $100, let's say, you move 10 up, my alarm's going off already. So you move $10 over, you can make do with the $90 that's left. Okay, so I got to pick up the pace. My alarm's going off. So that was one of the things we talked about, creating buckets and moving the money and paying yourself first to a place where you can't see it. We also talked about the envelope challenge. I'm still doing it. Again, what I did is I wrote down 1 through 6 on 6 different pieces of paper. Every day I pulled a piece of paper out the hat. Whatever number's on it, I moved that number of dollars from my checking over into one of those buckets. So we're talking about tiny little increments of money, no more than $6 a day. And it's always doable. I've been doing it for about a week now. I haven't felt it at all. So I invite you to join that challenge. And also, I haven't mentioned this yet. This is the new one. Cash. Now, obviously, do I want to say that? Yeah, obviously, cash is going the way of the dinosaur. I don't know if you can see it, but I can. Like it during the pandemic, swipe to pay really accelerated. So using your phone for payment and even tapping your credit card. So that system is onboarding quickly, is mainstreaming quickly. My friend in Japan says they haven't carried wallets for years. They don't even carry cash. So in the meantime, though, one of the most effective ways to manage your money is to take out a lump sum of cash from your account and carry that and only spend that. Don't allow yourself to use your debit card. Don't allow yourself to use your credit card either. Use the cash. And as you become aware of the dwindling amount of cash in your pocket, you'll start to make different decisions about how to make that money stretch before you go back to the well. Because it's really easy to swipe and swipe and swipe and swipe. And what happens psychologically is we remember the amount that was in the account the last time we looked at it, but we don't effectively deduct for each swipe. Like we have a perception of swiping less frequently than we do. There's been studies about this. So a better way to keep track of the amount that you have and the amount that you're spending is to take cash out and use that cash until you don't have any more, because that will keep you honest. Okay, so that was my new tip, the cash tip. But I invite all of you to try the envelope challenge because it's been pretty effective. And again, you just want to keep putting money into these buckets where you can't see them, and then moving the money from those buckets into an investment. Obviously, we've been talking mostly about the stock market, and so we're going to stick with that. The stock market and some of what I call planet crypto, like cryptocurrency, NFTs, metaverse, etc. But you want to move it to a place where the magic number is you're getting around 10%, preferably compounded, so that you can balance out the money that you're making with the amount that you're being charged, and that your money is growing for you over there. Like your money is working for you. Okay, so all that said, I think I'm going to stop there. Tomorrow I'll keep talking about, I think I'm going to keep working with that feeling of not feeling like you don't have enough to invest, because I feel like that's a big one for most people. And definitely it's been a big one for me. So coming up right after this is prayer time at 10:15. Coming up after that is Sit with Rev Melissa at 10:30. I'll be producing that show, and I might pop in to say a few words at the end. So until then, keep doing. Be a hero. Be your own financial hero. Remember that now is better than perfect in terms of investing. Do it now. Do it today. It's not optional. All right. And I think that's it. I'll see you tomorrow.